Welcome back. This is your host, Andrew Phillips.
And Isaac Peterson.
You're listening to the Let's Fight podcast.
So today we got a very spicy topic that got me nice and heated. I'm still heated.
Legit, he is heated. I wish I could put a picture up, but I don't edit the videos because this one's a communist.
Exactly. I prefer the term white supremacist.
Obviously,
Not really.
That's a joke.
That is a complete joke because I'm not a white supremacist.
The only race I hate is the one you have to run.
Yes. So, first topic that we have to talk about is about a new MAGA hat problem that was on the campus of Missouri Western State University.
Which is ironically like an hour and a half away.
From us, yes.
An hour and a half away.
There's a few kids from our high school that are attending that school. This is about a strong, independent black woman who decided...
no man, except there's a man in the video.
Who decided to cause a ruckus about a high schooler who was...
attending a prom.
Simply, helping set up a prom from his high school that was wearing a MAGA hat.
Or if you don't know what MAGA means, it's Make America Great Again, but I'm sure whoever's listening knows what it means. And I may not be the biggest fan of the hat or Trump, but I respect anyone who wears it.
About this video that has surfaced, there's a lot of bones I have to pick with it. In case you wouldn't know, I am openly a conservative.
He doesn't give a flying jackrabbit
If
vibe.
I was to have voted in the 2016 election, I would have voted for Donald Trump. Now, I think it's quite obvious that there's plenty of conservatives out there. I'm hoping that people don't just lob all of us into the same group saying that we're white supremacists, because that's just not true.
That's an extremist part.
Out of all conservatives, Republicans, right side people, right leaning, moderate conservative, any of those kind of people, there's a very small percentage of us conservative sides that are anywhere near this kind of extreme, racist, prejudice, white supremacist kind of type deal. And that's what the media does, because the media needs to get clicks and views and watch time.
And they want to divide people, but that's not the point of this video, even though we could...
I wouldn't even say that the media wants to divide people. I would just say that the most controversial stuff that happens, anything, and because everyone's hopping on...
It's because the media hypes it up.
And I think that it's because everybody is hopping on the bandwagon of, oh, we hate Trump, because everyone's deciding to put Trump and every other conservative or Republican into that alley of, oh my gosh, racism, and everyone's hopping on that bandwagon. So anything that can be promoted to make the right side seem bad is going to be put, on the internet and on the news channels, because that's just what they like. That's how they get paid. If you're watching on YouTube, the link to this video will be supplied in the description below. Yes.
We're using fancy words out here, I see.
And
is this the kind of banter / personality you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay, we got that covered.
that is something that's on our to-do list, by the way. Anyway, at the very beginning, she says that the hat basically symbolizes white supremacism, and I would say that that's false. Now, there is a small percentage of people that
who align themselves with Trump and then say
that do have extremist views.
I'll just let you talk.
That do have extremist views, and they use it to promote racism and all this different types of white supremacy, which I don't agree with. I think those people are dumb and they should move on. They should become part of the alt-right and then get out of here, become fascists, become communists. I don't care. Get out of here.
Don't align yourself with Trump, because it only makes the majority of conservatives look bad because of the way the media depicts them.
Exactly.
Oh man, I need to talk louder. Sorry.
And next she was like, take it off, and
that's freedom of speech and expression to wear that hat. You may not like it, you may not like what it stands for, but they have the damn right to wear it in school. What I've seen is, like, have you ever noticed that, like, the people who wear those hats are, like, picked on by liberals who say they're the tolerant left?
Yeah.
No, I'm not picking on every liberal.
You know, which sounds funny. There was a podcast, the Candace Owens Show, featuring Dave Rubin that came out about a week ago. And it's very good. I'm going to link that in the description below. Go and watch it and listen to it if you haven't already.
That's for the YouTube version, at least.
Yeah. Where they do talk about the tolerant left, and it's a very interesting talk. And they talk about more than just the tolerant left, but a good portion of it is about tolerant left. But anyway, moving on to the next part of the video where the DPS, Department of Public Safety of the campus, and the /police officer comes up and he starts to talk about the situation and try to tone it down a little bit because she is screaming, And I think he handles it very well, very calmly. He addresses her very well, I do believe, which is very, very good to see, that the media doesn't have to blow everything out of proportion saying that, police are bad, because they're not.
This guy handled it very well, even though you could tell the frustration in his voice.
And he was definitely being treated unfairly, I would say.
Everyone's just standing around like, what do we do? Because it's a situation where it's hard to diffuse and stop it from happening. You can't just go in and say, shut up, because it only makes it worse.
Yeah.
The cop was being the voice of reason, and even then, because if I remember right, he says, I know what the hat is. Or he was trying to, like, calm her down, and she's like, no, I want him to take it off. She was like,
do you know what this hat means? Do you know what this hat means? And
he was like, he knows what it is, but
he was like,
an educated person.
Sure, I know what it means, but he says, I know what you're getting at. I know what you're trying to say. And she was like, what does it mean then? What does it mean? And he was like, I'm not going to get into this with you. I think that is very smart. So that way,
very professional.
There's because he doesn't need to give his opinion. That's not what he's there to do. He's there to diffuse the situation.
He's like Trump. Trump's job is to run the country, whether he sees fit, and it doesn't matter what the media says. He is running the country very professionally. Well, maybe not professionally, but
I think that's part of what makes him, good and different, is that he's not
bought out
doing it. Yeah, exactly. He's
that's the thing I admire, is he isn't being funded by, as much as the media wants to say he's funded by the Russians. He's not. He's funded by himself, and he spends his own money on the campaign, as far as we know.
Well, I mean, he definitely had support. He definitely did fundraisers and stuff like that. That's just how it goes,
Text Trump, and then it says, supply me here.
But another part in the video is she's trying to make a comparison, saying like, oh, if all the women on this campus started wearing turbans. First of all, I think she's talking about a hijab.
Turbans are like what? They're not even, they don't cover your head. It's just like a hat almost, but rigid.
I mean, I'm not super...
I don't know how to explain it.
Neither of us are very versed in, the Muslim Islamic culture.
At least we know what a hijab is.
But what she's, I don't think that she's very educated on that. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, but I'm pretty sure it's a hijab that she's referencing to. And she said that basically like, oh, if every woman on campus wears this, they're going to come and attack us. Like, it's not going to be a problem, but if he wears a MAGA hat, it's okay, or something like that. She's basically saying that if everyone on campus wears a hijab or a turban, that there's going to be a problem, that people are going to get attacked and stuff like that. And I think that's completely false. On this campus that we have now,
we have such a diverse...
There's so many people, and I mean so many Muslim people and Indian people and...
Dude, there's some
people, Jewish people,
Chinese, atheists.
There's so many people that are, and they wear their whole religious gowns I'm not
religious wear,
attire,
whatever you want to call it.
And I don't think I've seen any discrimination whatsoever.
Hell, we've seen those people hanging out.
Yeah,
I have.
I've myself
seen Muslims and the Mormons hanging out there talking about their differences.
That's what I call tolerant. And like
versus what's going on now.
Like one
with
of
her comparing that with her saying like if all of us women wore turbans or hijab, but if like all the women wore turbans or hijabs, it wouldn't matter. No one would tell them to take it off. They're not a threat. They're just religious wear.
No, and also I don't think that you can make the comparison from religious wear to a MAGA hat. That's not a religion. Like the thing is like
a cult. Just kidding. It can be classified as a cult if you want to look at it like that.
The extreme 2%, but that's not what we're going into.
No. I'm sure if I wore a MAGA hat here where we go to school, I'm not going to say where we go to school. I'm sure that no one would really bat an eye, except for the very, very small percentage.
I mean, I've seen people on this campus wear a MAGA hat, and I don't think there was a word set, which I'm grateful for this campus being so accepting. And granted, there's people that I know that aren't, but that's fine. It's because we're moving into a time where hopefully people will become actually tolerant and not this false term of tolerancy.
Once this media gets called out and like fixed, then I don't think we'll see as much as divide. But
to finally finish up on the video, that I think that she was completely in the wrong. I myself have someone who is Muslim in my class, and she sits right next to me in class in one of my programming classes. And we're pretty good friends. We help each other out. We've met up and studied together. There's no issue at all.
Acquaintance, not friend, but acquaintance.
What do you mean? We're pretty good friends.
Oh,
like we talk to each other. I have her on Snapchat. Like she's awesome. Like I don't think there's any, the myth that the MAGA hat is a symbol of prejudice and racism and white superiority
is false.
Very false. Now it's true for like that 2%, but for like
the Covington, they were just there for
what's
fun.
Wrong with supporting your president? And it's a good saying. That's the thing, is like make America great again. If it was any other person saying that, it wouldn't have gotten blown up into this white supremacy, kind of.
If Hillary Clinton said that, then they would label her as a genius.
Everyone would be like, "Oh my gosh, this is such a great saying, make America great again." And now keep America great again. Great. She was wrong in what she was doing. And
she was using ignorant statements to fuel her agenda and make her look in the wrong.
Now, granted, if she was getting attacked. if the person who was wearing the MAGA hat, which was a high schooler, was purposely wearing it to possibly incite a reaction or to purposely go around and be racist, thinking that the hat protects him, that is completely wrong. Now, we don't know the backstory on this. The video shows very little about him.
He doesn't get shown at all.
But if it was purposely there to incite some sort of violence, then I think that that's completely wrong. Like, that's improper use, and I think that's just abuse of this MAGA hat. But I don't think that that's how it is, because the way she's responding to it, I'm pretty sure it's just an overreaction and on her part.
It was a situation that was blown out of proportion when it didn't even need to be a situation.
Like, if you see someone in a MAGA hat and you don't like Donald Trump,
just ignore it.
Just ignore it. It's like, we're 3 years into, this presidency now, and you haven't died, and you're going to be all right, Snowflake? Sorry.
I don't need to go into it.
Anyway.
But mad respect to that cop for dealing with all that bullshit and trying to diffuse the situation as best as he could.
Absolutely.
With the challenges presented to him in this video.
And I do applaud the girl for eventually, just saying, thank you, and kind of just storming off rather than making it violent.
She probably realized that she looks like an idiot because the other guy there, and you don't really see him that much, but he was like, calm down.
There's another guy in there, I'm guessing her friend would say, calm down, hey, stuff like that. But
in the start of the video, she says that her people are dying every day, and she says it's because of the hat that people are dying every day or whatever.
She says that.
Do you want to go into that?
She says that she wakes up every morning seeing her people die, and she's basically making that reference to the hat, and that is also false. The people aren't being killed because people with MAGA hats are going around shooting up the place. That's just not. It's not how it's happening. It's a myth, and it's.
And if it does happen, it's really stirred up to the media.
Exactly. It's a small percentage of people who are that far, that go that far, and are white supremacists and are racists and are
Jussie Smollett.
All these kind of people. Those people, no one likes. I don't think anyone likes those, and I hate them for dirtying the water of conservatism. Because that's not what we're about over here. Just the same as probably those feminazis and extreme liberals, are dirtying the water of liberalism. Because Dave Rubin has made it clear in many of his Rubin shows and podcasts that being liberal or democratic doesn't mean what it truly means anymore. So, look up Dave Rubin, get to familiarize yourself with him.
He has a man crush on Rubin.
I do not.
He just has tons of respect,
Mad respect for a libertarian / classic liberal that, can get shit done. Our next topic, moving on from this, again, comment down below to discuss more with this, or tweet at both of us. Our Twitters are in the description below. If you want to go ahead and have some conversation about this. We would love to talk about it with you. Or, if there was any false statements or more statistics or anything that you'd like to pop up, because our statistics aren't exact. It was, it's just how we feel. Go ahead and let us know. Anyway, moving on, we're going to be talking about the Brunei LGBT laws that were recently enforced. I mean,
not really.
Supposedly that they've been the LGBT to be gay in Brunei. It was illegal for a long time, punishable up to 10 years. But
they have taken it a big step further.
They have just found out that they're going to stone gay people to death, which is not funny.
It's a really serious thing that we do.
Yeah, it's really bad. And a lot of, it's just not right, which, there's a lot of people that are saying that this is because of the crippling economy over there, but I don't get that picture. There's probably more to go into on that. We're going to link a BBC article down below that
it's not big black
talks a little bit about a little bit more in depth about that, and you can find links from there, more about it, or research it for yourself and tell us more in the comments below. Please, we'd like to know more about it.
We would love to hear your opinions and thoughts on it.
Exactly. And there's other people that are saying that that they're not that worried about it because it requires apparently 4 witnesses of anal sex to be persecuted or put on trial or something. I don't know.
Anal. Sorry.
But I don't think, I mean, it's bad. And if you're supporting George Clooney or Ellen DeGeneres on the boycott of all the hotels that are owned by the Sultan of Brunei, go ahead and do that. I think that I agree. Boycott him because he's one of the richest people on this planet, and he's not with the times,
If you're stoning gay people, you're stuck in the 9th century.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then lesbians, if they have their sex, it's 100 lashes, so they don't get killed. They just get...
Yeah, or up to 10 years in prison. Like, you can't just approve of lesbian sex and not do any, and like kill people for gay sex. It's just not right. And it just should be gone altogether. I'll make that clear. I don't approve of it at all. What about you?
Of killing gay people? No. They have 206 bones just like us. Or is it 306?
206.
You get the point, but... Or 207, wink, wink.
Oh my god.
208, 209, 210. I'll just shut up, but you get the point. They all are like us, and they don't need to be killed because of how they want to spend their personal life. You know, that's none of the government's business. That's none of anyone else's business but theirs.
And there were some people that, since the app Grindr became a thing in that country, would use it to hook up secretly, since it was still illegal. But now people are scared to use the app, thinking that there's going to be police officers on the app pretending to be gay to catch them. But I hope they get through that, and I hope that this boycott hopefully changes the minds of the people over in Brunei. Moving on to the next topic.
The First Step Act, which is the reform of prisons, which was passed.
Federal prisons, to be more specific.
Yeah, federal prisons.
Basically what this act does, it was passed back in December of 2018 by an overwhelming, amount of success. I think that it's good. It's about, it was named the first, bit of criminal justice reform in a decade.
The point of this is to make it so it's like rehabilitation and make it so you can go back out into the public and not be crazy and do stupid stuff and go back into the life of crime.
Because a lot of people, would leave prison and feel like they can't get a job, they can't do anything because now they have this prison sentence and then they have no skills, to work off of. So it would be very hard to start surviving after they left prison. Because, the point of prison is not just to call them criminals and then when they get out of prison, they're criminals for the rest of their life. The point of prison is to help rehabilitate them and get them back on the path of life.
It's like what Norway and Denmark do is they rehabilitate people and they make it so they can go back out into the public and change their lives pretty much.
So this act does many, many, many things, which only a few we're going to cover here. If you want to know more, you can go to firststepact.org and you can find out all about it for yourself. In case you don't know what it is, we're going to just explain a few parts about it. One thing is it includes major incentives for participating in programs, allowing for 10 days in pre-release custody for every 30 days of successful participation, with no cap on that pre-release credit that can be earned, which means that just by, participating in these rehabilitation events and other programs held in the prisons, you can even get days taken off your sentence, which I think is good, It allows for creation and expansion of life-changing classes by authorizing $250 million over 5 years to the BOP for the development and expansion of programming focused on skill building, education, and vocational training. These classes will help prepare individuals for a successful and lasting transition back into their communities, which I think is very good. When you get out of prison, you want to be able to go back into the real world and be able to work, be able to provide, doing all these things. Provides IDs for leaving federal prison, have their ID prior to their release. This will reduce the collateral consequences of incarceration by allowing quicker integration back into their society, as well as create significant cost savings of approximately $19 million.
So it does help our economy too, in a sense.
It does. And it's criminal justice reform. It's what people have wanted for years, saying that we need criminal justice reform. It's happening. And it's happened. And
it's going to take steps, but it's happening.
And it's the First Step Act. We'll see what happens, in the future and what keeps going,
But yeah, we got some productive things talked about in this podcast, along with controversial. I wouldn't say controversial. It's more of just a liberal freak out.
Stuff like that. Go ahead.
Not all liberals are like that, just saying, though. Some of them are good people.
Also, follow Candace Owens on Twitter, #Blexit. Not all black people have to be Democrats.
Oh, yeah, that's the chick you showed me about.
I think she's just really cool, Anyway, this concludes our main part of our podcast. That's what we're going to talk about. If you want different topics for us to talk about, put that in the comments below. Sorry that this has kind of been rambling, back and forth. We'll try to make them a little bit more,
productive.
The more we go, we'll prepare some more stuff beforehand.
Just not a lot is going on right now, too, in the big news world, but maybe we aren't looking hard enough.
Exactly.
Time to do a segment on 50-50.
But
is this man being grabbed by his penis, or is it just a cat? Oh, it ain't a cat.
Whoa! Well, it ain't a cat. Is that a woman?
You saw my raw reaction earlier. I was like, oh.
You just screamed. Was that the picture?
I was gasping, yeah. I'm not going to show you the picture because it made me cringe.
Well,
I made a picture, so you may have to bleep it out.
That's okay.
Pretty much that's the end of the podcast, so co-host Andrew signing out.
And in the future...
Just kidding, we're not...
P.S. In the future, we will have more segments to where on the audio of both YouTube and Spotify, we will answer some questions from Twitter. So
if we ever get any
follow us. Yeah, I mean, we probably won't get any questions, but follow us on Twitter. And we can have a good old time on our next podcast. We usually record the podcasts between Tuesday and Thursday, and then they will most definitely be up Friday or Saturday of each week, possibly before that. I'm going to try to get this one up by Thursday night, Friday morning.
See how it goes. Enough that you need to censor.
There's not so much cussing that I need to censor, but there is a little bit, but that's okay. It'll give me time to watch through it, and I'll cut some things out. So this has been a beefy podcast. Yeah,
this one's spicy.
Spicy.
Oh yeah, happy 20th birthday to me. We're 2 days late. But
Andrew's 20 years old.
Next year is gonna be lit, my dude. I'll have to do a podcast when I'm drunk.
We'll have to have a guest. We'll have a guest that I'll actually be talking to, and then Andrew will just make his drunk comments on the side.
We'll find out in a year.
But go subscribe to Andrew's personal channel, Ands Chan. That will be in the description. If you're on Spotify, just search ANDSCHAN on YouTube. You will find it.
Follow me on Twitter at YoIt'sDrew.
Follow me on Twitter at Isaac H. Peterson. And
follow our podcast at Let's Fight PC.
If you want more of Andrew's opinion, since I kind of took over the opinion on the MAGA hat, if you want more of Andrew's opinion, go ahead and click the link in the description titled Andrew's MAGA video, which will have his whole video on his personal channel where you can see the video as well as he breaks it down and talks about each part of it. It's a fairly alright video, so I haven't seen it fully yet. I've seen parts.
It's actually kind of blown up, but that's because it got high in the search results.
But, we'll see how it is. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to like. Make sure to add this podcast to your favorites on
Spotify.
Subscribe
to us on YouTube.
And Podbean.
This dude really going all out, but can you blame him? But anyways, yeah, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, turn on the bell for notifications, follow us on Twitter at Let's Fight Podcast, follow our personal stuff, like I've said, and if you're on Spotify, just favorite, and pretty much, is this the end?
I think so. I think
Alright, this is Andrew signing out.
And I'm Isaac.
Signing out.
Signing off, out, in, up, down. Over.
Or is James... Wait, James...
James Charles.
Okay, we need to end this.
See ya, sisters.
See ya. Not sister.